I pledge to stay drug-free.
I plan to stay drug-free.
I pledge to stay drug-free.
I pledge to be drug-free.
I pledge to stay drug-free.
And welcome to Expose Under the Sun, sponsored by the Detroit Native Sun newspaper. I'm your host, Darwin Griffin, and I just want to welcome you into your living rooms today, and we hope and pray that all is well and that you are advised to make certain that you recognize that what the governor has mandated about this social distancing as well. We are sponsored again by the Detroit Native Sun newspaper. And if you'd like to call in to the show today, our call-in numbers are area code 313-868-0342, 313-868-0351, or 313-868-4336. The website is www.tv33whpr.com, and you're watching us on WHPS, channel 15.2 in Detroit under the Honorable Mayor Michael Duggan, and in Highland Park under the auspices of the Honorable Mayor Hubert Yap. And we ask you if you'd like to call in just to put your cell phones and take them off of speakerphone mode. I just want to again thank R.J. Watkins and Henry Tyler for allowing us to have this opportunity with you. But before we get started, I just want to remind everybody again to make certain the governor has asked people to observe the social distancing and to keep your masks on. So again, I can't tell you enough. My special guest for today is going to talk a little bit about some of the COVID-19 testing that he's going to be involved with. So you may want to, get your pencils and papers out to jot down some of the information that he's going to give you as pertaining to some of the testing that's going to be done for the virus. Again, I just want to remind everybody, if you have been tested before, don't get a false sense of security to think that you are not susceptible to contracting the virus again. Still wear your mask, still observe the social distancing, but again, make certain if you can, get tested again. I'm sure that my guest will probably tell you, it's probably more so for those who have never been tested first, but if you do have a thought or an inkling that you think that you may have been around somebody who may have been infected with the virus, you may want to go and get tested, again. So it's always best, my motto is to be safe than sorry. So I just want to welcome my special guest today. His name is Anthony Tony Yanish. Mr. Yanish, I appreciate you coming on the show today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you inviting me.
And just want to talk a little bit about the importance of making certain that people, first we'll talk about, you've got an organization called UCAN, correct?
Correct.
Talk a little bit about UCAN and tell, what does that stand for? That's an acronym. What's that stand for?
Okay. So UCAN stands for United Colors Against Negativity. You can go to the site www.ucan-be.com. That's ucan-b.com. And it's really a site about a lot of positive, uplifting messages that I design and put on shirts. The goal with this whole thing is really to generate revenue and income, and then I would take the money that I generate, 20% of whatever I earn, and I go out and randomly just give stuff away to people. I've been known to sit down with homeless people and eat. I bring them in a restaurant with me, we'll eat and we'll just talk. I get to know their life, their story. How did they become what they became? I get this opportunity, let's say you were out with somebody in, at a movie theater or a restaurant. I might walk up to you with some gift cards, say, here you go, sir, have a good day. And I would just leave and take off. My belief is that treat each human being like you treat God or whomever you believe in is your great creator. And once you do that, you get back 100 folds of feeling good about yourself and your gift of giving back. So I try to show people that we as human beings can coexist, work together, no matter who we are, no matter what color we are. We can look past that boundary of color and look at each other as human beings and look out for each other.
And that's something that can occur in all different age groups.
Correct.
You know, because I think that I was reading something the other day where it talked about a lot of young people that do those lemonade stands.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
raise money. And I guess one of the companies that manufacture a lemonade product is going to give $100 gift cards to some of these young people that normally have these lemonade stands to
Yeah.
do just what you do
Exactly.
with your organization. Now, what kind of, you talked a little bit about what you do, but was it something in your life that kind of inspired you to start the organization? Was
Yeah,
it an event
yeah.
that occurred or somebody that touched you that kind of got you to do this?
Yeah, actually, it's funny. My mom and dad, they're an interracial couple.
Okay.
And you know how it was back in the 50s and 60s to be together. To hear the story about them two and what they went through and what they put up with for each other and look past the color and looked at each other as human beings, I thought was phenomenal. And as I got older, I always asked myself this question, there has to be a way for us to be able to connect as two human beings sitting together, no matter what our colors are, our thoughts are, our beliefs are, our religions are. No matter what it is, it's a way we gotta be connected to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing was, one day I was just like, okay, God, I need to understand what is it that I can do to make my difference in the world that makes me feel whole doing something for other people. And I've always believed in a way to unite people is the greatest gift. So I looked at my folks, how they looked past colors, and looked at human beings. And for some reason, it just hit me. The words, you can. And it was literally the words, you can. And then I'm like, okay, break that down into an acronym. And it became UCAN. And then from there, I'm like, what does that mean? And I started thinking, you know what? We're all united on this planet, no matter where we are in this world. So it became United Colors Against Negativity. That means you could be black, white, Native American, wherever you are. We're united here. And if we unite right, we can actually help each other along the way have a better place in this planet and stop looking at so much of this negative that we've been dealing with. Because think about it. The more we push that negative narrative, when that tower gets high enough and it's over that good, it falls over on you. Now you walk off feeling negative. My goal is if I could shake some of that off of you, that's what I'm trying to do, And so that's what this is all about.
What was life growing up for you as a son of a interracial couple? What was life like for you growing up?
Oh, my God. It first started off, I was literally fighting the black culture and the white culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just that ongoing thing, the Jeffersons with the zebra jokes, you name it, it was all out there. And a part of me was angry about that, I admit it, I was angry.
Why were you angry?
Because I couldn't understand, why these people have this issue with mixed people. Then I started thinking, why would my mom and dad get together like this, knowing how bad these people are about things like this? But I'll never forget what my dad did. My dad literally, one day, me and my brothers were in the car, and we just moved over on Terry. And I remember he got in the car, he popped the keys in the car, got ready to start it up, he didn't. So he turns around, I'm like, okay, who in trouble now? Mm-hmm. That's my thought. And he said, look, I know you guys are going through a lot because me and your mom, I get it, you're going through a lot. But I want to tell you guys one thing. When I look at your mother, I don't see a color. I see a woman I love. I see a woman that I admire. She's the mother of my children, and I thank God for her. My mom said the same thing. And then he said to me, you guys been gifted with able to see both sides of the coin. Mm-hmm. You can see what love is about, and you can see the negativity of hate in it, right? Coming from the community, right? He said, but at the end of the day, you guys are what God is all about. So that calmed my anger. It calmed my anger. It brought me to a different space. And from that point on, I held on what he said. I'm like, you know what? We represent what God, Allah, Yahweh, whatever the belief system is in a person. We represent that creator, because that creator, whoever you believe in, created everything. You can look at the universe, multicolors out there. So the purpose of color is what? It makes everything look right. It makes everything worthwhile, you know? And I'm sure you looked at the sunrise and set, and you saw the sun and the night reflect to each other, and you was like, damn, that's amazing.
Well, you know, it's interesting you say that, because it's just like when I was growing up, my mother was always liking to use the phrase colored, as opposed to saying, you know, to say anything else other than like black or white or anything else. And, you know, that was the key thing that I looked at, was just making certain in terms to say that I was still a person. That's what she always wanted
Right.
to tell me. But, you know, the question I ask you sometimes is that when I see people on applications, what do they put? You know, like you may have on an application that asks you for your race. and it's like where you may have different categories, you know, that persons may have. And I know that's one of the categories that, you know, you look at you know, black, African American, or, you know, and it was interesting because I knew somebody that was pretty much like had a mixed parentage and was really trying to figure out what to put. You know, they weren't white, they weren't, you know, they didn't feel like they were black. But then nowadays you hear somebody, you know, saying that, well, if you have a little bit of black, you know, blood in you, that you're considered to be black.
Right.
So, you know, that's something that I think that a lot of times people talk about, that, you know, you wonder what to put, you know, on those applications. So I think this friend of mine was saying that when she would see that on the application, she'd just put other, because a lot of times they would ask for that, you know, about saying the word other.
Right.
So that was the biggest thing there. So we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And we're going to come right back. So again, stay tuned. Expose Under the Sun. We're going to take a little break. So stay tuned. And thank you for tuning in again to Expose Under the Sun, sponsored by the Detroit Native Sun newspaper. We just took a little break, and now we're back with my special guest. His name is Mr. Tony Yanish. And we were getting into a conversation talking about his background and growing up, you know, as a young man who, you know, knows about some of the things that people went through, especially somebody that may have grown up in a interracial household. So just to kind of talk a little bit more about now, let's switch gears for a quick second. You are in the process of doing some things with the COVID-19, with the testing. What are you doing with the testing? What are you going to be doing?
With the COVID-19 testing, it's basically, I call it like a community type thing. And what I'm doing is that outside of Detroit, I learned that Redford was becoming a higher increase in COVID cases outside. We were becoming the highest. So
Outside of Detroit?
Outside of Detroit. So my goal in it was to try to make a difference and change that. You know, I was looking for our leadership, because I know they would have the access to different things to get it done, but unfortunately I didn't hear anything. And so I decided, okay, it's time for me to start pursuing the connections I had for when I worked for certain things, Organizing for America, Congressional Liaison, things like that. But those connections stayed with me that helped in the community. So I started utilizing those connections. And I was able to get back on July the 11th, the first COVID testing in Redford, but it was for the surrounding area as well. And they could catch that on my page, Tony Yanish, 2020.com. So this weekend coming up, and I'm excited because DWO just emailed me this morning and said, yeah, it's a go for us too. We want to be a part of this. So we have 3 testings coming up. Okay, one is exclusively for seniors over in Redford at the Village in Redford, and we're going to test all of them. Hopefully all of them be tested for COVID, but the other one is open to the community. We're going to do it. One is going to be at Detroit World Outreach, 23800 West Chicago, and then the other one is going to be at Ethel Bethel, 25295 Grand River in Redford. Please go out there Saturday between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Either one you go to, that's where we're going to be at testing people. I hope to see you because I will be out there. But it's important that we start working to flat the curve. I tell people be a hero. And what I mean by be a hero is this, that if you can take the test just to find out if you have it or not, you've taken a step to try to stand up and actually look out for your next human being, the next man or woman or child. You took that choice to say, okay, I need to know for somebody else's sake, not just for yourself. It's for somebody else's sake. So that's how you become that hero, because heroes are unselfish. They're looking out for the next person, always. So that's what I call it, be a hero. It's a unity, community type thing. And I'm just asking people to come out so we can get tested to flatten the curve. And I'm hoping to do more, and we can expand it out further and further.
And we want to let people know when we say hero, we're also saying sheroes at the
She-Ros.
same time.
That's right.
So,
Sheroes,
there's a
forgive
lot
me.
of women out here that are just as much the hero or the heroine as what some of the men are. So
Thank
we
you.
want to do the heroes and the sheroes. But now, so the times that you all are going to be doing this is going to be, and then the other question I want to ask you too, if somebody doesn't have insurance, or do they have to make an appointment, or can they just drive up?
Oh, no, you could drive up too. It's a drive-through. Just come on in. It's going to take you all of maybe 5 minutes. Application test is a swab in the mouth. If you have insurance or you do not have it, you will be tested. We're not turning anybody away.
So this is going to be a swab in the mouth.
Yes,
So not the nose.
not the nose, which everybody dreads. This one, it goes back there. I hate that one. It's a picture on the site where they're doing me, and it looks like I'm gagging, but it's only because I'm just not used to that or the nose.
Okay.
But the swab in the mouth, everybody seems to like. It's quicker, it's easier. It's a 1 to 3 day turnaround on the results. And the lab that's doing it is called Worldwide Health and Safety. They're right here in Detroit. So I made sure it was here because we could get faster results. If we work with labs in our own cities or states, it's quicker to get that result.
So they can just drive up, regardless of whether or not if they have insurance or not, they can still just drive up and they can still be tested. They won't be turned away because they don't have the insurance.
Correct.
And you say it's about a 1 to 3 day turnaround time for them. And now, how are they going to get their results back? Are they going to be called, or do they have to call somebody, or what's going to happen?
Okay, so what I took the initiative, and we're going to have their phone number, the phone number for you to reach out, a direct person as well as the 800 number. But most of the time, you either get a call, an email, or you may get a United States Postal Service mail letter. One of them, whichever way you get it, you'll know what that means. If you don't get the call or anything, more than likely you're positive. I mean, you're negative, so you don't have to worry about it. The goal is that nobody gets a phone call or anything. That's our goal. But if you do get it, do not feel bad about it. Please do not. There's ways you could take care of yourself, self-quarantine, stay on top of the fluids and the liquids and so forth. Stay rested as much as you can. There's ways you can stop it from growing within your body, because people freak out when they get it. And I understand why. I've lost 9 people now. I've lost 9 people to it. And that's what made me even more motivated to do this. But there's ways to control it, slow it down, things of that nature. Now, I'm not going to say I'm a doctor, but I'm just going by stuff that I've been researching and learning from doctors and paying attention to Dr. Fauci.
Well, the thing is that we have to always take every precaution, because like you said earlier, you don't know what you may bring back to a loved one, to a family member, or to anyone else. And I think that's one of the crucial parts, is to make certain, regardless, what have you heard are some of the symptoms that you hear? Because I know people nowadays aren't really reminding people about the symptoms
Yeah.
that people have. Luckily, everybody's been going through the quarantine and they've self-isolated themselves for the week or the 2 weeks. But, still in all, you're still hearing that the symptoms are still like the dry cough,
Yeah.
the fever. And one of the things that people are doing too is that they're making certain in some businesses that people are given the temperature test
Yeah.
before they come into the building. And I know that's one of the things that they're talking about with the schools.
Yeah.
Making certain that they can go and they can test all the students, temperature before they come into the building. And at the same time too, this is the new norm,
Yes.
wearing the mask. And I think the thing is, and trust me, we have our masks. We're just not wearing the mask
Right,
here
right.
in the studio.
Right.
But the minute we get finished, with doing this broadcast, our masks are being put right back
Right back
on. So, what are some of the things in terms of say that you found primarily with the things that you do with UCAN that you can kind of like just tell people, especially like the part about the blessings, to give blessings to other people.
Yeah.
And just like with this, what you're doing with the COVID-19 testing, this is also giving a blessing
Yes.
to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because when that first came out, a lot of people didn't understand, and people don't really understand too about this is going to be around possibly for a little while.
Yes.
And they have to really remember and realize just because of the fact that they may be feeling good today, they still have to still take the same type of precautions with the social distancing, wearing the mask, not touching surfaces, that could be contaminated.
Right.
Making certain too that they use the hand sanitizers or the wipes when they go to the store. And then the other thing too is the make sure when you go into a business to wear the mask. But what are some of the other blessings that you give? I know I appreciate when you said that about you give the gift cards to people out there that you may meet on the street. That's something that's dear to my heart because I know years ago that's what I used to do. Go down to NSO and used to feed the homeless every Sunday, rain or shine, and it doesn't matter. But you never know what that blessing may do for other people when you give that
Exactly.
card.
Exactly.
Because that's one thing that you never know because I've had same type of cards, gift cards that people have given me. And interestingly enough, I've regifted those
Yeah.
cards. I've given them to other people.
Yeah.
And, sometimes I really didn't even know a lot about the person, but I'm like, hey, let me just go and give this little Visa or MasterCard or whatever gift card to somebody. So just in the few minutes we have left, just give some advice to people, especially to the young people, as
Yeah.
to what they can do to make a contribution to, America or to, the people that they're around.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The younger generation, I can honestly say, they actually do it on their own anyway, humbly. They have no problems with giving or sharing. I do say, I would say to them that you should organize, get a group of you guys. The more organized you build this coalition of giving and helping and saving people from whatever they may be dealing with personally, become an organization of it, and then make that agenda spread out. The goal is to become infected to the point where you infect other people with this positive unity thing, like, I see you, brother, I see you, sister, I see your family, I see your pain, For instance, if you don't mind, two quick things. One of them, the young lady, she knows I sat on the corner down there uptown, that restaurant downtown. I sat on the corner eating with a guy, ordered a $30 burger, and we sat there and ate $30 burgers on the curb, right, from the Money and Chalk. Another time, I was blessed to give a family, had a 2-month-old baby, wound up, they didn't have a home. I knew the guy. I moved out of the house that I'm at now, and I let them move in and live like a family so they can get back on their feet. And they found their bearing, and then they moved on. And
You
then I
moved
back.
out of your house and let somebody else move into the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But I saw the movements they were making, and I trusted that enough to say, God, I got this from here. I'm going to take my step to the side and let them do it. And, I mean, they moved on. I learned the story. They got a nice organization going on helping kids with schooling and so forth. So they're doing a phenomenal job now. But I say that you never know who you might inspire to go into that next level. The younger generation, if they keep doing what they're doing, they would be so different from what we have been when we were younger and watching things. We would see a whole different culture of people that we believe in about giving to the next human being, and the reward back is the peace you find in you, and you could give that peace to somebody else and they'll find peace. And it becomes infectious. People try to deny it, but it does.
And that's the one good thing, you know, so the gift that keeps giving, and that's the
Exactly.
important part. Mr. Yanish, I appreciate you coming on the show. We're going to have you come back on again and let us know in terms, say, on how successful your events, you know,
Okay.
that you've got coming up, you know,
Yes.
that are going to be. So, again, you are watching Expose Under the Sun, sponsored by the Detroit Native Sun newspaper. My special guest was Mr. Anthony Tony Yanish, and he's with an organization called You Can. So, just as he was saying, you can do it, because the main thing is, you want to give people a can do so that they can make certain that they do what they need to do. So again, I just want to make sure to let everybody know, do what you can, stay your distance from people with the social distancing, wear your mask, and do everything possible to make sure that you don't infect or you get infected and give that to somebody else. If you'd like to advertise in the Detroit Native Sun newspaper, you can contact Ms. Valerie Lockhart at area code 313-457-5944, and you can pick up a copy of the Detroit Native Sun newspaper at your local Kroger supermarkets. I do want to thank everyone. Again, one last comment.
I just want to say, behind his thing, be a hero. Take the test, okay? Be smart, be safe, be tested. Be a hero.
With that note, I guess we'll close out, and we'll see you again, same time, same station. Want to thank R.J. Watkins and Henry Tyler for allowing this time with you in your living room or wherever you may be. Again, safe travels, and may God award you traveling mercies wherever you may go. Peace.